Hey everybody, it's Jose Laya. We hope you're doing well. The first quarter of 2025 in the real estate market is in the books. And today we're here looking at single family homes in Coconut Grove, one of the most desired and exclusive neighborhoods in all of Miami. Since the beginning of this year, we've started to do our market updates focusing on each neighborhood as a single video to allow you to really hone in on the neighborhood of your choice. Whether you currently live there and want to see how the market is doing or are considering buying there, we want to be able to put the information in your hands in a quick and easy way. We are also taking a look at a lot more data to be able to give you more details and information as to how the market is doing. We're also going to give you a breakdown of all the sales data, including active listings for sale, closed sales. We're also going to dive a bit deeper to see what price range most of this activity is taking place in. And then we'll wrap things up with our market summary. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. So here we have our first graph for the numbers for the first quarter of 2025 for single family homes in Coconut Grove. And we're breaking it down month by month. And we're looking at the active listings for sale, closed sales, months of supply, days on market, median price per square foot, and median price sold. Let's jump right into the numbers. Now, you'll see some numbers in black and then you'll see some numbers in light blue. We do that because in some neighborhoods, you do have waterfront properties. So we do like to separate them because there's usually a big disparity between waterfront properties that sold and non-waterfront. Here in Coconut Grove, there's not too many of them, but there were enough that we wanted to put it up here for you. So let's take a look. Look at the numbers from January to February as far as active listings and closed sales. The numbers stayed just about the same. But then look at the jump from February to March. Active listings went from 70 to 89. Most of those were actually dry lots. Look at that. They went from 62 to 82. That's a lot. However, look at the closed sales. Closed sales more than doubled from February to March. We went from 9 to 23. Let's go across the board. The months of supply decreased dramatically to only about 4 months of supply. Days on market decreased to 20 days, while median price per square foot and the median price sold actually decreased. Now, the fact that it's only taking 20 days or less than a month and your median price sold is about $1.6 million, all these signs are pointing to a very healthy and strong market for single family homes, which is great for sellers. So in our next graph, we're going to break down where most of these closed sales and active listings, what price range they're taking place in to see if we can spot any trends. Let's jump into that one now. Here we go. So here are the numbers for the entirety of the first quarter for 2025. Let's take a look at them. Active listings, there's 89 active listings for sale. Out of those 89, 82 are dry lots and only 7 are waterfront lots with access to the bay, access to the ocean. That gives us 6 months of supply. That number would actually be less if it wasn't for the fact that the waterfront homes, they haven't been selling whatsoever. Let's take a look at that now. Just to give you some context before we do though, 6 months of supply. Just so you know, a balanced or normal market is considered to have anywhere between 6 to 9 months. If you're less than that, obviously it favors sellers. In this case, it's 6 months, which is pretty fantastic for the area given the high median price for the area. Let's take a look now below at the price ranges to see if we can spot where most of the activity is taking place. And look at the $1 million and under in Coconut Grove. There's not really much, and there is only 3 closed sales. What we did notice, if you look at the price ranges 1 to 3 million, 3 to 5 million, and then 5 to 10 million, the active listings are actually spread pretty evenly from 1 all the way up to 10 million. Look at that. You've got 24, then 28, and then 21. However, when we look at the closed sales, Look at 1 to 3 million. That's 26 closed sales out of the 42 closed sales. That right there is a huge indication that most of the homes in Coconut Grove are selling between $1 to $3 million, over 50% of them. Another interesting thing to look at is that there was 42 closed sales for the entire quarter. First quarter of 2025, 42 in total. The light blue 0, that means that 0 waterfront homes sold in the first quarter. That's something that we're going to take a look at now, because if you look at 10 million to 20 million and 20 million plus, there's 12 active listings. Out of those 12, 4 are actually waterfront, and the other ones are non-waterfront, which it's pretty impressive. We just have to see if they get sold in this next quarter or not. However, what we wanted to point out is that out of the active listings for sale for waterfront, there's only 7 waterfront homes listed for sale, which if you're a buyer, you really don't have much to sort through. But we didn't have any closings in the first quarter, so that's something that we just wanted to highlight for you, and we're going to keep an eye on moving forward. Now, for buyers, if you're looking for homes in Coconut Grove, obviously there's 89 active listings. It doesn't seem like much, but it's a lot more than there was the month before. As you could see, days on market is 20. I mean, I have to smile because days on market is averaging about 20 days on market. That's less than 1 month. So buyers, the housing market for single family homes in Coconut Grove is moving very fast. As you could see, things are going in less than a month. Months of supply is low at about 6 months, and even less if you don't count in the waterfront homes. And that truly is a seller's market for single family homes in Coconut Grove. Let's look at the numbers. If you're searching for a home under the $3 million price range, that's really the most competitive range here that we can see in Coconut Grove. Once you get above 3 million, really above 5 million, it appears that you do have more inventory and the market is moving a bit slower. If you're a seller in this market, you do have the advantage that inventory is low for single family homes in Coconut Grove, as we could see, especially under $3 million. So it gets a lot more challenging above the $3 million mark. At those levels, based off of the closed sales that we're seeing here in this first quarter, we'd always suggest if you can price your home either at the market or just a bit below, just so that you can attract the most attention as soon as you get listed and come on the market. Especially with all the economic headwinds in the world right now, the last thing you want to do is have your house sit on the market, especially if you need to sell. So those are all the numbers. We're going to jump now into our summary. So in summary, for the first quarter of 2025 for Coconut Grove, we can actually see that the single family homes market's doing really, really well. Months of supply is low, days on market is low. If there is one area of concern, we'd say that maybe once you get into the higher price ranges, like 10 million plus, I mean, you've got quite a few listings there available, but there hasn't been any closed sales for the first quarter. So we just have to see what happens with that moving forward. Obviously, at the $3 million and under price range, it's a tough competitive market for buyers and great for sellers based off of what we see here. I mean, look at that. There was 26 closed sales for the first quarter, and right now there's only 24 active listings at 3 million and less. That kind of gives you an indication as to where the market is headed as far as pricing for the neighborhood. We'll point out again that even though there's only 7 waterfront homes listed for sale, there is 0 closed sales for the quarter. Those are primarily in the upper price ranges, which right now, from what we're seeing with all these economic headwinds due to the trade wars, due to tariffs, which we feel are going to negatively impact the real estate market, especially for the next month, for the month of April, as well as the second quarter, and maybe even for the remainder of this year. We just have to see. We're going to keep a really close eye on that as these are some very serious headwinds that the real estate market in general is facing right now. So we'll just have to stay tuned to see how it all plays out. Well, that's our first quarter market update for 2025 for single family homes in Coconut Grove. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami. And as I start my 19th year in the real estate market, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to provide you with value and help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.